is knowing how to take care of your sump pump. Here's the handyman Dale Cranston to show us how.
We're moving indoors here. I'm down in the basement. We're starting to think about the basement and interior spaces because we're going to be playing pool and ping pong down here. And what I thought is we better take a look at the sump pump. And in this particular sump pump scenario, I like to get the water out of the sump pump area to check to see if we have any debris down there and to check the condition of the sump pump. And you should probably be changing your sump pump maybe every 5 years for sure. Now there's backup systems for sump pumps, the battery operated and the water powered, and we'll have to get into that some other time. But let's just take a look in this particular crock down here. This is an older house built in about 1940s. It's got a nice hard ceramic crock here, and all the drain tiles from around your house all bleed into this crock area here and fill up with water. And we've got all the water out of this particular one, and you can see these drain holes, but they tend to bring in gravel and sand, and that's not a good thing at the base of your sump basin because it can gum up the motors. You can see this particular sump pump's looking old and looking rusty, and it's still operational. You can check it and see it's still operational. And but I think it's a good time to put in a new sump pump. And you can see it intakes water right down in through here in this particular model. Okay, not through the bottom, but in through here. So if the gravel gets up in here, you can see this is a pretty high amount of gravel. It can get in there and gum up and damage and just stop that sump pump. So you really need to get in, clean out this basin down in here, get all the sand and gravel out of there, put in your new sump pump. This is a backflow valve so that when the water pumps out to its reservoir, wherever it's outside or down to a drain outside, it'll pump it out, and then this keeps it from going back. And if that looks like in good shape, you don't really have to replace that. Sometimes I'll just replace that backflow preventer right there. But you just simply take off this end. You might have to buy a couple new parts of PVC or something to make sure that you got a good PVC connection to this valve. A lot of times the valves are vertical. This one's in a horizontal position and it's real nice and tight. But sometimes they're going up the wall and outside. You need to make sure that that exhaust pipe, the pipe that's going up the wall, is secured and tight to the wall, because from the vibration from a sump pump tends to vibrate those loose and they can come apart and cause leaks right in the basement just from the sump pump. So what I'm encouraging you to do is get in and look at your sump pump, see if it's time, if it's that 5 to 6, 7 year time to replace that sump pump just for good measure. And you might check into a backup sump pump depending on how much activity you have down in your lower level. So let's get out there, let's check the sump pump, and keep on battening down the hatches for the weather that's moving in, the cold weather. For the News Beat Saturday, I'm Dale Cranston.
If there's ever a project that Dale's advised you doing that you haven't done, this is one to try. Now,
you know this firsthand,
sure
George.
do. If you have any questions for Dale, send it to WDIV 550 West Lafayette, Detroit 48226. If he answers your question on the air, you get one of these lovely handyman t-shirts. And you know the problem he described at the end where the pipe comes off from the wall? That's what happened.
And you had extensive damage.
It was a mess. Somebody didn't install it right.
I forgot something.